Alrighty. So I am starting out of the. I'm starting out on this YouTube journey. Honestly, I never really thought of myself as a content creator, and honestly, I really don't want it to be like time consuming in my life. But I also like feel the urge to document my journey at the same time. So it's kind of like I'm really that in between right now on the journey. But I figured I would go ahead and just, give it a try and kind of just see how far I can really go with it. Um, but yeah, so welcome to the channel of Jo Ontavia, but we're going to call me JoJo for short. And I don't know, let's see. I can start by saying that I am trying to figure things out. I am trying to figure life out, and I think we all are at this point. We're all trying to share our journeys, and we're all trying to, collectively heal ourselves in order to become the best version of ourselves and, you know, reach the most highest version of ourselves. Meaning that we are taking the time out to heal what's within us, all the trauma and past experiences that may have traumatized us in the head and, kind of reprogrammed us. And, these days we're all figuring out how society is programmed to run these days. And it's really scary, honestly, I would say, because there's just like this whole system that's already been cultivated and run by all these people who kind of know exactly what they're doing. And well, I want to say know what they're doing, but I guess it's subjective per person, because it's definitely pretty fucked up society that we live in right now. And I'm not really sure if I could do that on YouTube, but it just came out because it's a really tumultuous time right now that we're living in. There's so many emotions that we're feeling all in one day, and we're always on go and always thinking about something and always just having to be productive. And I feel like that's the opposite of what life is really about. It's really about just being with people who make you happy and people who bring out the best versions of you, and them as well, and everybody just collectively healing, like I said in the beginning, and just enjoying themselves and being authentic and loving life, and not stressing about paying bills and stressing about where's my next meal going to come from, and all those other things that shouldn't really be stressing us as much, I would say, because it's not really a fulfilling life at all. We're literally on a floating rock. We're literally on a floating rock, floating out in fucking space. And to be concerned about all of the things that are happening right now is kind of wild. And I would talk about my life, but I feel like I've reached the point where I am very spiritual. So I am the type of person that's like, we're all one, So, I am you, you are me, and we're just vibrating at different frequencies. So, when I talk about me, of course I'm talking about, the collective as well. I'm sure everyone doesn't feel the same way. I'm sure everyone doesn't. I'm just sure everyone doesn't have like the same ideals, and that's pretty obvious. Um, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with everyone having their own perspectives of the world, because or else I mean, how else would we progress if we didn't all have ideals and taught each other things that we've learned throughout our own journeys. I don't really know how long I wanted to make this video, but yeah, right now I'm in such a space of healing, and I feel like I've felt all of the low frequency emotions that I possibly could have. The anger, the sadness, the fear, the not feeling worthy, and just going insane in my head. And I've learned from like one of Don Miguel's book, Don Ruiz Miguel. But anyways, he wrote like the Four Agreements, Fifth Agreements. So I do recommend his books for sure. And he just came out with a new one, and it's like Toltec Wisdom, and it is so good. And in that book, he has stated that there's like three voices in your head. So one of them is obviously going to be like the deceiver. So it's obviously that voice that's telling you you're not good enough, you're not worthy, and all of these negative things that are not coming from the other voice, which is the truth. The truth is the knowledge. The truth is love. And that's the original voice that was within us to begin with before we got out into the world and we were programmed to, think a certain way and, be a certain way, and just all these different ideals and stuff that got absorbed into us when we were, as we were treading throughout this life journey. And then the third one is going to be knowledge, which I guess knowledge, I kind of spoke on that with love. But knowledge is something that as you tread throughout this life journey, you gather different knowledge that you have to be, what's the word? You have to be able to figure out which ones that you want to apply into your own life. And yeah, so I feel like, those are the three voices, and you really just have to be mindful of, what you're absorbing and how you're treading throughout this life. And it's always like, if there's something that you don't like in another person, you always want to be sure that it's something that you've cleared within yourself as well. And I think that's just kind of where judgments come from, and projections as well, because we just get so absorbed into our own worlds and the voices that we constantly hear. And once we continuously hear that voice, it ends up getting projected out into the world and to other people. And as they say in like the Kabbalion, which is another which is a philosophy book about the 7 Hermetic principles, which is as within so without, or as above so below, and as below so above. So you just really have to be in tune and in sync with yourself in order for you to progress throughout this life and to continue becoming your most authentic self. Is just releasing all of those like ideals and stuff that people put on you. And I know like a lot of us are starting to figure that out, and a lot of us are trying to do it. And I know it can honestly be really tough to even try to tread throughout this life journey and try to remove some of these programs that have already been instilled in us since we were like young. But you have to keep trying, you have to keep going, and you just have to show yourself love and be kind to yourself. I think that's kind of where it all starts. And once you learn to be kind to yourself, there's no way that you can even like think of just putting anyone else down. And I think that's the beautiful part of the journey, is you realize that what you don't do to yourself, and then also what you do to yourself, is put out into the world, and it's shown. And so yeah, I guess for starters, that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. But it's been actually really fun talking about this and creating this video, so I'll always end my videos with I hope you guys stay grounded and stay rooted in gratitude.